inviting a direct battle in the center, which usually leads to a pawn exchange. When facing the Scandinavian defense, capturing your opponent's pawn is usually the best choice. Black develops the knight with the idea of recapturing the white pawn with the knight instead of the queen. Good job stepping in to defend your pawn. C6 attacks the d5 pawn and allows the queen to develop on the queen side. That was a fair trade. Their recapture simultaneously brings the knight into play. This move activates your knight to strengthen control over the center. A central advance from your opponent that limits your piece movement. Careful. Your queen becomes a target when entering play too soon. Your better option was to prepare. Their better move was to develop a bishop and attack the center. Moving the same piece here doesn't add much value to your position in the opening. Your best move was to prepare. They are threatening to win material by adding pressure to a pinned piece. You permitted the opponent to win a knight by adding pressure to a pinned piece. They missed a chance to win a knight by adding pressure to a pinned piece. You recaptured. A straightforward recapture. You recaptured the piece. They blocked the check from your queen. Your better option was to reveal an attack on the pawn. Their better move was to castle queenside. This move leaves one of your pawns hanging for free, capturing your hanging pawn. You missed a better way to develop a piece while also winning a tempo on a queen. This is the only move that works. Your opponent moves their queen. Your move discovers an attack on the pawn. They took your pawn for free. Good awareness keeps the rook alive here. This move gives you the opportunity to win their bishop. This is the only move that works, and you found it. A nice fork here puts both pieces under pressure. They stopped the check by interposing a piece between your queen and their king. You allowed the opponent to win a queen through a discovered attack. This check is a discovered attack at the same time. You will lose your queen to it. A logical capture. Capturing your hanging queen. Develops the knight and supports the center. They played the strongest move available. You block the check from an opposing queen, capturing your hanging pawn. You permitted the opponent to force the loss of castling rights. Your better option, now you have to lose castling rights. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. Precise move from your opponent. Giving away your rook is a mistake, but your position was losing anyway. They missed a chance to win a rook by adding pressure to a pinned piece. You are threatening to win a queen through a fork. You are now able to win a queen through a fork. Nice fork. You'll be winning a queen. You stopped your opponent from being able to force eventual checkmate. Their king steps away from the check by your knight. You capture that free queen. They are right on target. A clear recapture. Their rook is now active on an open file. You step your king away from the checking rook. They kick your knight with a pawn, forcing it to move or be captured. You calmly step the knight out of trouble. Your opponent moves their rook to escape your attack. Your knight is no longer hanging and is now defended. They overlooked an opportunity to win your knight, though their position remains strong. By moving here, you reveal an attack on the rook. This move is losing material, but their position is still winning. You capture that free rook. I like their choice. That fork puts real pressure on your opponent's position. This move left their pawn hanging. You captured that free pawn. Their best option was to push a passed pawn. You had a better way to evade the check from the opposing pawn. Your opponent had the upper hand, but now the game is close to equal. You had an opportunity to capture a free pawn. Their best option was to create a protected passed pawn. You recaptured. Your opponent moves their pawn to escape your attack. Nice way to win material using a fork. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. You won a pawn for free. The pawn slips away as white avoids material loss. The game was close to equal, but now your opponent has the advantage. They had a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. You were keeping the balance, but that move makes your position worse. Their best option was to capture the checking pawn. Your better option was to attack a pawn chain. You allowed the opponent to sacrifice a rook for a nice tactic. Their best option was to sacrifice a rook for a nice tactic. This move attacks your opponent's pawn chain. They ignored the pin, and their more valuable rook is now exposed. You captured a free rook. Their passed pawn moves closer to promotion, becoming more dangerous. That pawn was yours for the taking. Pushing their passed pawn. Excellent. You've taken control of your pawn's promotion square. Now, a new queen is in sight. Their passed pawn is now defended. Your better option was to protect a passed pawn with their piece. They exchanged pieces of equal value. Nice find. You found the only move in this position. Smart play. You had the upper hand, and now your position is winning. There was only one good move, and you found it. By adding an attacker, you make the threat on the pawn much stronger. They played the strongest move available. A checkmate was available here, but it was a tough one to spot. Your opponent moves their pawn to escape your attack. You bring in another attacker and turn up the pressure on the pawn. Your opponent's position went from bad to worse and is now losing. You captured a free pawn. They move their king out of the check from your rook. You had a checkmate, but this lets your opponent out of immediate danger. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. This is a fine move. They missed a better way to evade the check from the opposing rook. You missed a chance to punish your opponent's error. They had a better way to evade the check from the opposing rook. The only move, and you found it. They moved their king out of the check from your rook. A checkmate was available here, but it was a tough one to spot. You had the upper hand, and now your position is winning. This is the only move that works, and you found it. Precise move from your opponent. They are right on target. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. They played the strongest move available. You continue the checkmate attack. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. Your move gets closer to checkmate. They made one of the top moves in this position. You continue the checkmate attack. That was the only move. Nice job, your rookmates, while your king blocks the escape.